Alright. Thank you for joining us. It's our monthly corporate Zoom. I'm here at corporate with Kim Buchanan, my assistant, and Janae Greenfield from the training department. And today we're going to talk about social media. I'm so excited, and we're going to let Janae teach us some fun tips and tricks.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna take it away. Like Yvonne said, my name's Janae Greenfield, and I have been on your guys' team one other time, or one team training one other time. So you might be a little familiar with me. But one thing I want to make sure, just set up some context, additional context for you, is before I came to Scentsy, I ran a business for a couple years, coaching and consulting direct sellers on social media. And so I'm very excited about social media. There's so much to it that is such a great opportunity for you. While it's such a great place for opportunity, I do recognize that there are specific challenges that you face as a Scentsy consultant and as a direct seller. So we're going to work through a couple of those things today, and I hope that you get to leave with some good actionable tips that are going to help you convert more on your social media. So first, I want to talk about your approach. One thing that I am a real big believer in is how you show up on social media matters. It matters a lot. In fact, I believe it matters so much because what you believe will never overcome the technique. So I always say technique will never overcome belief. If you believe it's so hard to get business on social media, or it's so hard to recruit on social media, or it's so hard to get parties on social media, you will be right because of confirmation bias. Essentially, you will always find evidence for what you believe. So if you believe it's hard, it's going to be hard. But the opposite is true also. If you think that social media is a great place for you to get sales, to get new customers, to find new team members, you'll also be right. So I want you to keep that in mind when it comes to social media, because that will not only impact your approach to how you show up, but it starts impacting the way that you speak, the words that you say, the conversations you have, and it allows you to use language that's converting versus convincing. And the difference here is if you show up on social media with convincing energy, you essentially are trying to talk to the wrong person. You are trying to convince people to just try your product, or convince them to host a party, or convince them to join your team. Instead, and honestly, convincing has more of a desperate um, tone to it, or vibe to it, if you will. However, converting energy has a confident vibe to it. Converting energy is where you are almost like, you'd be crazy not to host a party because that's the best way to save on Scentsy. Or you'd be crazy not to join my team because this is the best and flexible business opportunity that you could have. So I want you to also keep that whole thing in mind when you're just thinking about your approach and everything else that we talk about today, okay? Because it really kind of is the foundation. I feel like we don't really talk about it enough, but it really is that foundation to your social media presence. Another thing when it comes to social media is I want to encourage you to stay flexible and innovative. And when you stay flexible and innovative, you're going to be able to adapt with the trends and the times. You'll be a lot more adaptable than if you find something you love and then in 2 months it stops working and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I built my whole business around just creating these little TikTok dances to sell my product. And now TikTok dances are out and it's not working anymore. And the hard thing about social media is that it is not evergreen. There's nothing evergreen about it. Things are always moving and changing at a super high pace and speed. But the more you're willing to be flexible to try new things, even things that might not work, or try new things, then you're going to set yourself up for better success. And it allows you to not feel like you, if something's not working anymore, that like, oh my gosh, social media doesn't work. Just because it's not working for you doesn't mean it doesn't work. It means you haven't found what works for you yet. And that's okay. That's where the flexibility and innovativeness is going to come into play. But I want to talk about three really important trends that we're seeing on social right now. And these have been trending on top. They're kind of like grand scheme, overarching views. There's so many different things we could kind of really drill down into each of these three trends. But these overarching things are going to impact a lot of your social media business, or business on social media. So trend number one is authenticity. Now, for a long time on social media, there was this almost like this perception that everything needed to look picture perfect. You wanted everything to look aesthetically pleasing and you wanted it to be beautiful. And while there is a time and place for that, I mean, I'm not going to recommend you're posting pictures with your warmer next to a baby diaper on the counter. Like there's a time and place to be curated and to be professional. But also, there's now this deep desire for authenticity because people want the real and the raw. They want the behind the scenes. They're people aren't very attracted to the picture perfect, and I think it's why like reality TV is such a highly consumed content type because people like to see that kind of stuff. They want to see what you're really doing, how this is really working for you, what you love about the products, things like that. So make sure that when you show up on social that you're being authentic. And there's a couple things you could do for this. First, when you're writing your captions, make sure you're using language and wording that you would use. If it sounds like you copy and pasted it from somebody else, people will be able to identify that. They're going to know. They're going to be like, she doesn't talk like that. She doesn't say those things, or it just sounds too scripted, too, too copy and pasted, essentially. Also in your pictures, I love that we have marketing images available for you. I think marketing images are great for Facebook parties, but I think that when you're doing your public presence on social, you should really utilize more of your own images, your own videos, because this really allows your content to be authentic. It also, like a bonus of it, is it's going to rank higher in the algorithm because the algorithm can pick up if pictures have been posted by thousands of other people. And so it flags it as not authentic content. And the algorithm loves authenticity too. So the more authentic pictures and videos you use, the more it will actually help you also in the algorithm. Okay. Second trend, I know that this is going to be a little like, some people see it and they're like, no, but we'll talk through a couple ways to use this. Trend number 2 is Reels. Now, Reels are the short form video on Facebook and Instagram. They're called Reels. It's like the TikTok style videos. I think on YouTube, it's called YouTube Shorts. I can't remember what it's called on Pinterest, but there's a word for it on Pinterest where it's those just short form videos. And the thing is that the more our culture, society, world is exposed to all of this we're overstimulated and inundated, can't even say the word, with content and information. Actually, our attention span keeps getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Like a couple years ago, it was like 8 seconds was like, and now I think we're down to like 6 seconds. So it's insane how we keep getting shorter and shorter. So the thing about Reels, being a video, you can capture somebody's attention quicker than just a post or just a caption. And so that's kind of a good thing to keep in mind when you're making your Reels is make the first part very captivating. We like to call it a hook. You want to hook people in right away. A little trick to the I don't know if I should say trick, tip, I guess is what I should say to this is usually if you start any video with the word you, it is a lot, it gets a lot more engagement and it keeps people watching longer. So, and for example, you could say, you're not going to believe this, or you have to see this new product I got. You have to check out what my host just got for her host rewards, things like that. Just starting it with you, because it's letting them know what's all about, what's in it for them, essentially. I'm watching my screen and then I just realized like half of my head is off the camera. So sorry about that. Okay, a couple of other tips for Reels is that Reels don't have to be just your talking head. I think that some people get nervous to do Reels because they're like, great, now I got to get my hair and makeup on, I got to get on camera. There's a lot of things you could do with Reels. It could be you putting wax into a warmer. It could be you using cotton cleanups. It could be you wiping down a counter with Scentsy swipes. There's really popular content right now called B-roll, which is essentially putting your phone, this is all it is, on like a tripod and hitting record yourself doing something small, whether it's grabbing your phone and sending a text, sitting down to work on your laptop, switching out some wax, anything, doing like almost like a behind the scenes. And then you can put over your video a quote or some content with what you're doing, B-roll, yeah. Whatever you're doing or working on. And even like it could be a tip. You could like, for example, it could be you grabbing your laptop and then your tip is like, here's a time management tip that I found helpful for my work from home business. And what you're really doing is you're highlighting that you get to work from home. And so it's also a great way to kind of subtly share the business opportunity on social. So don't feel like you have to be curated and you have to be like unboxing something to do a reel. It can be more authentic behind the scenes, but you want to make sure that you're incorporating it into your strategy or your social media plan. I would recommend at least one a week, one reel a week. But really it can be as up to you. However, one more than you're doing right now is one more than you're doing right now. You don't need to feel like you need to do it weekly if you've never done any or you've only done one here or there. Start incorporating some because that will definitely help you with your social media. Okay, trend number 3, I get really excited to talk about this, is value content. So value content is any kind of content that you put out there that brings or provides value to your followers or your audience. Now, value can be different things to different people, right? To some people, it might be like, oh, a time management tip. To other people, it might be some gift bundle ideas or options for teachers, or it might be some Christmas gift bundle ideas, right? So it can be different things to different people. But the goal of value content for you as the content creator should be, how am I bringing value to my audience or followers with this video? Now, I mean, this might sting a little bit, but just talking about the product doesn't bring value. If you're like, oh, look at this new warmer, it's only available while supplies last, it's a special limited edition, yada, 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 that doesn't really provide value. However, if you're giving some tips or ideas on how they can gift it, maybe you give, hey, here's 5 people that would love this as a gift, and you're helping them with their gift giving for the holidays, that provides value, right? If you're giving them some cleaning tips, that provides value. So there's different ways you can do it, but we probably should open it. I thought that was your guys's.
Debbie Fitzpaul was looking at it as a starter kit.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's not
It's not.
upstairs.
Sorry, guys. Okay. So I want to walk you guys through. I'm kind of marry this trend number 3 with something that I'm really passionate about with social media online, because I think that a lot of people like to put content out and they don't really stop and think of the customer journey that has to take place on social media. There's this misconception that I just have to post and then the customers are going to come to me and shop. And it really doesn't work that way. And then I think people end up getting frustrated when it's not working that way. So I want to share with you guys the social media customer journey that typically will have to happen for you to have success with converting more followers into customers. So customer journey, it looks like this. You start with value, and then you go to serve. Serve is the next step on the journey. The third step on the journey is nurture. And the fourth step is sell. This is when you're ready to promote, whether you're selling the business opportunity, the hosting opportunity, a Scentsy Club subscription. This is just basically any kind of promoting that you want to do. Now let's look at how this looks in your content or in your social media presence. Value is done through your content. That's where you are showing them different things that bring them value. Another thing I will tell you, and just a little tip for value, is people value things that add to their life, that either solve a problem or help them achieve a desire. So when we say value, instead of talking about product, perks and benefits, features and benefits, talk about the features and benefits that the customer will have when they have this product. So instead of talking about, oh my gosh, this new Scentsy Air is amazing, you put 4 cubes in it, and I'm telling you all the features and benefits, it goes up to 1,000 square feet. Instead, start talking to a mom, for example, who might be afraid of waxidents, and how this is going to bring some more, maybe a peace of mind to her, because she's not going to be worrying about her kiddos, a mom of young kiddos, knocking it over, or someone with pets. And you start talking about how her life's going to be better because of the product, not really even any of the product features and benefits. It's all about what is the benefits and features to this customer. And then you could take it further, not even just products. Let's look at the hosting opportunity. I'm not necessarily going to talk about all of the host rewards you get, even though that's a great savings and it is going to be a great value. You would maybe want to consider talking about the experience that this host is going to have by gathering friends together to shop and what that could look like for her, how it's going to either solve a problem or it's going to meet a desire that she has. Okay, so pain and pleasure, they're like two marketing things that are really important. How is it going to bring them pleasure, or how is it going to fix their pain? Okay, those are really, really the best ways to think about value content. If you can fit it into doing one of those two things or even both, that's going to be great value content. Okay, so that's value content. Now, the serving, sorry, the serving and nurturing, where does that come in? That comes into conversations, sorry. Okay, so serving and nurturing is going to be done more in the comments or in personal messages, direct messages. That's done through conversations. And I always like to put it this way. This is a direct sales business. The more direct conversations you have, the more success you will have. It really does come down to that. I think that there's this idea, I would love to just put everything out there, like post everything and have people come to me. And while I would love for that to happen too, it honestly doesn't usually happen that way often. I compare it to like fishing and hunting. If you were going to go fishing, you kind of put your line in the water and you hope you get a bite. That's kind of what it's like when you post. You put your line in the water and you hope you get a bite, right? But through direct messages or through direct conversations, that's basically more like having a target and hunting. You're able to like, okay, I know that this is a great prospect for the business opportunity, or this is a great prospect for a Scentsy club. And so it's having a direct contact and able to like hit the target instead of just putting something out there and hoping you get a bite from it. So conversations are very, very important for social media. And then selling. Selling is when you're able to actually make that promotion. This is where you've built, you've provided value, you've served and nurtured on the customer journey. And once you've done those three things, then you're ready to say, hey, have you ever thought about being a Scentsy consultant? Or, hey, do you have any gifts you need to buy? I'm putting in an order. Things like that, anything you're promoting. But I will tell you that people do this backwards all the time, and then they get frustrated that it doesn't work. What people try to do is they get on social media and they start promoting. They get a sale, and then what do? Okay, now I'm going to nurture by following up and saying thank you. I'm going to serve them by sending some happy mail. And now because they did that, now I'm going to provide them value and ask if they want to be a part of the club or if they want to host a party so they can save more. So people try to do it backwards, and then they're like, this doesn't work, social media doesn't work, and they're frustrated and burnt out. However, if you flipped it, if you flip the script and you start with the value and then you serve and nurture your followers and friends, then you position yourself to have not only built a relationship with them, but then when you're able to promote your opportunity to them, they're a lot more likely to say yes. And I did put this in here too. So I do have the wholesale there as part of the customer journey, but it will always serve you best to sell more in your conversations than your content. And I know it's so hard to resist the temptation to just post every new product that comes out or every new opportunity we have. However, when you do that, it really does turn people away. People get on your social media and they're like, oh, all she does is talk about her product. All she does is talk about this wax and warmers. And so you don't want to do that. You want to position your social media that it is all about providing value to your friends and followers. And that could be in so many different ways. You can be doing it with your products, right? But you're asking for the sale, or you're asking for them to host, buy, join more in your conversations than in your content. Okay, so I want to give you a couple ideas also of what it would look like as a posting cadence. So a posting cadence, if you were doing, let's say, I think I missed a slide, but that's okay. I think I shortened my slides down and I think I forgot to put one in here. Okay, so posting cadence for your social media, this would be like 1 out of every 10 posts, let's just say. 60% of your posts and your content should be like that value education. 10% should be promotional. That's when you're like, hey, you guys, we have a flash sale going on. That's like the point blank coming out there with like, here's what's happening. Here's a sale or a promo. Entertaining 10%. This is because you do want to keep people laughing and entertained. And that could be done in so many different ways. Some people have, you know, memes that they share. Some people have just like little funny clips that they'll share, funny pictures, but something just that's like entertaining the people that follow you. And then the authentic get to know you, that should be about 20%. So authentic get to know you is more the content that's specific to you, like your personal, just making you stand out, basically. So if we think of 10 posts, 6 of them would be value, 2 of them would be the authentic, get to know you personal content. 1 would be entertaining and 1 would be the actual promotion. So I know it kind of looks like it's leaning one way more than the other. Like it's like, okay, this is very heavy value in education. But through value in education, you kind of got to get creative, but you can talk about products in a valuable way or an educational way. You can talk about hosting in a valuable way. You definitely can talk about the business opportunity because you can be sharing about things that you're doing, little business tips and tricks that you do. And again, it's a way to talk about the business opportunity, but it's providing value and educating people. Okay. I know we're already at 1:20, so I'm going to get moving, but I want to give you guys 3 tips because I feel like that was a lot of good, like, hopefully good stuff to know. But I think that it's good to be able to leave with like 3 things that you can take and do like right now and implement into your business. The first one is for Instagram mostly, but you can also, I want you to do this on Facebook also, but one of my tips I'll tell you is specific to Instagram. So first of all, optimize your bio. Now your bio, this is a screenshot of Instagram, but you also have one on Facebook. Your bio should not look like a dating profile. Okay, it should not be like girl mom loves coffee and long walks down the Target aisle. Like it should be all about what other people have to gain from following you or what you offer other people. Okay, so for example, I help moms earn money from Wi-Fi, things like that. What you do for other people or what they're going to gain by following you, you know, something like I share fun and valuable tips on how to work from home with 3 crazy kiddos, or, you know, something funny. Not that it can't be about you at all, but just kind of sharing more on what other people have to gain by following you. Okay. The username, so this is where it's more specific to Instagram for this part, but the username right there, the orange circled, that should be your name. Now, a lot of people here will have like Wax Boss 123 or Scent Lady, I don't know, you know, things that are more about the business. And I love those fun play on words, and I'm not trying to knock them. But if you're trying to build a relationship with people on social media, it's really hard to connect with somebody named Wax Boss 123. They might not remember what your real name is, and it's actually not going to be really good if they don't know your real name and then they go to search for you. And if somebody types in Wax Boss 123 into the search, do you know what's going to come up? A lot of other Scentsy consultants. And actually, then you have a chance of losing this person because they're going to be clicking on profiles, trying to find which one's you. They might get distracted and, oh, I like this, and then end up on somebody else's PWS, right? It's not a good thing to happen. So your username should be your actual name. Also, your username is what comes across when in messages. That's what they're going to see is your username. And whenever you're commenting or responding to comments, it's your username that they see. So you want them to see your name. So you're branding yourself and not Scentsy, because some of you do a really, really, really good job branding Scentsy. But again, if somebody types in Scentsy, you could lose them. So you want to do a good job branding you and your name and yourself. The second part of that is your profile picture. I know we all love our pets and our kids and, and logos, but again, it's really hard to connect with a logo. It's really hard to connect with a picture of somebody's cat or dog. It doesn't feel authentic. and it doesn't really feel like it's a real person behind the screen. So I always recommend that your profile picture is a headshot of you, and bonus points if it's the same picture on your PWS, because that just kind of gives some good brand recognition if they go to your PWS that it's the same person, right? But I know it can be a little nerve-wracking. Some people don't like to put their face out there on social, but it will help you with building a relationship with your followers and audience. Okay, this is a little Instagram secret. A lot of people don't know this, but where it says Scentsy right here under the profile picture on Instagram, this is actually an SEO line, which means search engine optimization. What that means is when somebody goes to search, the search pulls first from this line, because if you're in your profile and you click edit profile and you go to this field to type in something, it actually is called the name field. So people put their name there, right? Which makes sense. So what also happens, because social media was designed to be a connection for friends, the search pulls from this field because it's trying to help you find your friends. So it's trying to help you find their name. Like I want to find Kim Buchanan. So I type in Kim and it helps me find her, right? However, it also works for other areas too. So for example, if somebody was looking for a remote job, if they type in remote job, if somebody has remote job in that SEO line, guess who's going to come up? You. Or if you are thinking of like, I kind of base it off of whatever your business goals are. Are you trying to sell more? You're trying to book more? You're trying to recruit more? Let's say you were trying to recruit more. I would put something in there about work from home opportunity, or stay at home business, or stay at home business mom, or I don't know, I'm trying to come up with this off the top of my head. Something about the business. I don't think you can because of, right, because of, no.
But we can put something that is like our business.
Yes. And I honestly, so Kim was saying, I don't know, I'm sure you guys could hear, but just in case, because we have her microphone muted. So it wasn't getting that static feedback. I'm gonna take this off because it keeps clicking on me. I wouldn't do Scentsy anyways. This is actually a really good tip also for Pinterest. When people go to search for a job opportunity, a flexible work from home opportunity, or they're looking for home fragrance or candles or home decor, a lot of times they don't know the brand name to search for. So you kind of want to put your head space and mindset in, if I was looking for my product, but I didn't know the name of my product, what would I be searching? I'd probably be looking for home fragrance, candles, which I know we hate the C word, but I would be looking for home decor, more of that type of thing. For the business opportunity, I'd be looking up remote jobs, flexible ways to earn money, things like that. I wouldn't necessarily be looking up Scentsy because I don't know that that's the job opportunity I'm looking for. So yeah, go ahead.
So in that line where it says Scentsy, can you put like 3 or 4 things or just the one?
So it's a good question. So it does have a character limit, but I think it's 100 character limit. I could be wrong on the
But you
character
don't
limit.
wanna look like that. You're just saying don't put a ton of stuff.
It's fine if you do, but I would do something like work from Wi-Fi, or home decor specialist, or something like that, where it's like if somebody was searching for you,
Right.
they're more likely to come upon you
Right.
if
So
it's.
you do home specialist, comma, wickless candles,
Mhm.
comma, you can put up to 100. Do you
Yes,
suggest that or no?
yes, yeah, I
Oh,
would.
okay.
Yeah, yep, use that. Your username should be your name and shorter and easier to. You might have to get a little creative because names are taken to. Your name, Kim, is probably a little bit more popular than mine.
Yeah.
But you could do like underscores, you could do like periods, you can do a few things where it's still identifiable that this is Kim Buchanan
Oh, like on the Scentsy line.
on the,
The top.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
mine-
Yeah,
I just.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's good. It's good because you're
Okay.
getting this, so you're
Yeah.
getting like the good, you're starting with a
Yeah.
fresh slate. I like it. Okay, so definitely utilize that area for what you think somebody would be searching for and help them stumble across you and your profile. The last little thing for optimizing your profile is these little circles on your profile are called highlights. Now you have to have something in a story. You have to post it as a story before you can save it to a highlight. But what I would do if I were you is think of at least 5. So you can see 5 on the screen at one time. You can have more, but you can see at least 5 at all times. 5 things or categories that or opportunities that you would want to share with your customers. So it could be things like you could like a holiday one and have like all the harvest and fall and holiday products in there where anytime you talk about it in your stories, you save it to that highlight. You can also do like party with me or scent event, something like that, and have information all about having parties with you. Yes. But you have to save them. Like, so you have to have a story and then you can save it as a highlight. It's cool. I can show you guys too after this. But one thing to keep in mind is that I know we would love for people to go to our PDS or PWS. We would love to bring people over there, right? However, Instagram doesn't really like that. Instagram gets paid, and Facebook, both of them, they get paid to keep people on the app because they have people that are paying them literally millions of dollars to run ads every single day, every single minute on their app. And so they want people staying on their app. If too many people are going to your profile and immediately clicking out of the app, they don't like that. They do not like that at all. So a good thing to do is keep people on your profile, keep them in your messages, start a message with them. If you want them to buy from you, offer to place the order for them, offer to text them your link. You can send them the link there too. It's not that they can never go off of the app, but anything that's almost like an extension of your website, put it there in your highlights. So anything like the host of parties, information about Scentsy Club, things like that, because then you're keeping people in the app, which is good for Instagram. Also good because you're hopefully not losing the person. Like sometimes they go to your PWS and then they get busy and sidetracked and they click out and they don't even do anything. So use these as kind of like an extension of your website. Okay, 2 more tips and then we'll wrap up. Tip number 2 is respond to 20 stories. Now, stories are when you get on the app and they'll have like at the very top of the page, they have like a profile picture with like a colored circle around it. And that means somebody has a live story. Stories only last for 24 hours. Here's why I put this in as a tip. Number 1 is because I think people forget that social media is a social app. So many people like to get on and post and ghost. They post and then they get off the app. And they just want to get on, share what they have to say, and then do their scrolling and get off. But you have to remember that not only is it going to help you build relationships to be social and engage, but actually the algorithm likes when you're social and engaged as well. Because if it recognizes a connection between you and somebody else, let's say you and somebody else are having a conversation in a comment or conversation in a message, then the algorithm identifies that as a connection. So the next time you post, it's going to say, oh, Kim and Jonay are already connected. They've been having a conversation. I definitely want to serve up Jonay's content to Kim. So Kim's seeing the things that I'm putting out there. Okay, so it's going to help you in the algorithm. It's going to help you build relationships. But my favorite reason that you should respond to at least 20 stories is because when you respond to a story, it starts a direct message between you and the other person. Your story reply goes to their direct messages. Remember what I said about sell more in your conversations than your content. Have those direct conversations because it's a direct sales business. This is a great way to do that. So when you're responding to people's stories, be authentic. You don't have to respond to every story if something doesn't resonate with you, but these are going to be people you follow. So you could scroll through and somebody maybe posts that their son just got his driver's license. I don't know, just reply with an authentic, like, oh my gosh, so exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. You know, something very authentic that they know you are taking the time to have a conversation with them. They're going to respond back to you. When they respond back, remember, you're going to serve and nurture. You're not going to jump to selling. You're going to have a conversation and build a relationship with them. Okay, take time to pour into serving and nurturing. And when the time is right, you'll be able to position yourself to make that promotion or share about the promotion.
Does that apply to posts too? I mean, in those stories is where people are now, but
Yeah.
I'm a post too.
Yes. And the posts are great. No, you definitely want to. Same concept. The only difference is on a story, it'll start a direct message.
Okay.
But on a comment, obviously it's more public, but it's still so great to see because you know, when people comment on your posts, it feels good. You're like, oh yeah, people are engaging on my content. And so I think don't take that for granted for other people, that it feels good to have somebody comment and interact with them on their social media. Yeah. Okay, tip number 3, and then we'll wrap up, is leverage UGC. UGC is user generated content. And you're probably like, what the heck is that? User generated content is where you are leveraging pictures from your customers and hosts and Scentsy Club subscribers. Now, remember I said be authentic. So it's not that you do want to use your own pictures as well. However, what if you got a picture from a customer, you said, hey, following up to see how you liked your new wax. What did you think? Or, how your bag party going? What did you get for free? Do you have a picture of it? Ask them to send you a picture of what they got for free with their bag party, or ask them to send you a picture of the new warmer they got. Then ask them for permission to post it. And what you can say is, because it's authentic to you still, because it's your customer or your host, and you could say, check out all of the freebies my last host got with her bag party. Or you could say, love how my customer is using this new warmer in her entryway, or whatever it is. And there's a couple of reasons that this is going to really help you on social media. Number one, it's going to save you time because if you even just got one picture a week from a customer or a host, that's one less picture you have to worry about creating, right? And it's kind of like pre-done content in the way that you can just look at the picture and figure out your caption or your post to go along with it. You're not having to be like, oh, what should I post about? And if you had your Scentsy Club subscriber send you a picture of her last club order, and then you share about it, it kind of gives you a starting point. So it's going to save you time. The second thing is that,
Question.
yeah.
How is that different or better than asking them to brag and tag? Like asking them to post a picture and tag you?
Yes.
Is that bad? Or
Not bad at all. You
Okay.
definitely can do it. What I prefer to have them send it to you and then you post it is because you have a little bit more control over what's being said along with it. Sometimes people will say things, let's just randomly, like going off the bag party. Let's say you said, can you send me a picture of everything you got? And they might say, yeah. And then they post it and they say something kind of like, doesn't really it's not how you would have wanted it to be conveyed. Or maybe even something like, hey, you should do a party, even if it doesn't work, you might get some freebies, or even if nobody comes, like nobody came to my party, and you're like, wait, no, that's not how we're even though nobody came, they shopped your link, and that's not how I would have said it or worded it. So it's kind of nice. It gives you a little bit more control over how you want to market it. The other thing is that it expands your reach. So it's going to go right into number 2, because when you repost it and you tag them, then they will most likely share it, because first of all, if you tag them on Facebook, it's going to go to their profile anyways. Or if you are on Instagram, they can reshare it. They can reshare it to their stories. And then, yeah, now all their friends are seeing it, but they're seeing it in the context that you wanted to market it in. But it's not bad to have them. They say, hey, if you post that, make sure you tag me. I would love to be tagged. But it does feel different if you asked to be tagged versus, can I tag this? Like, it almost feels like, oh, of course, like it feels like more of an honor. If you're like, can I use your picture? I love it so much. I'd love to share this with my, on my social. It feels a little different and like, oh yeah, of course. And then they are more likely to reshare it versus like, oh, you want me to tag you? You just want me to mark it for you. You want me to, it just feels different. You know what I mean? Okay, last thing, the why UGC is so helpful for you and it will really be great for social media is it provides social proof. And social proof is essentially I'm not going to do the best job of explaining this. You can Google it and it'll tell you all about social proof. But essentially, if it's good enough for other people, it's probably good enough for them too. And what I mean by that is, of course, you as the consultant are only going to say fabulous things. Of course, you as the consultant are going to have every product. Not really, but you're going to have a lot of product and you're going to say all these good things. However, if other people, if they're seeing, oh, all these people are having parties, like there must be a good reason to have parties if she's posting about a party once a week, or all these people are buying their holiday gifts through this Scentsy consultant, there must be a really good reason to buy your holiday gifts through Scentsy. So it kind of, it leverages it differently. Again, kind of coming back to the fact that of course you're only going to have good things to say, but if other people are doing it as well that aren't getting anything out of posting about it or sharing pictures, it provides a different level of trust than you would be able to provide as the seller, quote unquote, seller of the product. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, so those are my 3 tips. I'm gonna wrap up. I know I went a little bit over, I think, but
That's perfect.
but I'm gonna open it up to questions. I know you guys had a couple, but if there's any other questions you have, I know Sherrod is on. I don't know if Tracy's on still. She might not be. That's okay. Maybe she is. It says there's 5 of us, but I only see 4.
Quick question about
Yes.
Facebook posting just
Yeah.
to friends or to public? I
Good
know public
question.
It's share, but then you also get those creepy guys who are.
I
So
know.
what's,
Yeah.
what's?
Okay.
A little of both?
A little of both is always a good. I think like personal, keep private. I would, but if it's more like your UGC type content, or if you're like, hey, check out this club photo my customer just got from subscribing and saving Scentsy,
Yeah.
that's fine public because it's not really showing people's faces. It's not really, and you might still, there's creepers are out there. It's unfortunate, but I think you're gonna have them either way. Either way, even if as private accounts, they still find a way to find you and friend you. And I don't know, they have nothing better to do. I don't know what they're doing out there.
I think if I block enough of them, Scentsy will, or Facebook will make them go away.
Yes,
If enough blocks,
they're
yeah.
gone. Yeah, you would hope. We'll see. We'll see. But I do think a healthy mix is good because especially if you're using UGC, if you tag somebody else, you want it to be public so that other people can see what they're resharing or what they're tagged in.
So here's a weird question. I'll post something and then I'll be like, I posted just to friends because that's what my default set up. But then it's like, oh, I want to do it public. So then I go edit it and make it public. Does that just mess everything up?
I think they used to. I don't know for sure. I think it used to, like, if it wasn't public right away, like the settings got set as like published as this setting. But I don't know if it still is that way.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I know, and because it's one of those things, like, is it better to delete it and repost it? But if it already has like likes and comments, I would just probably leave it. If it doesn't, I would consider probably just pulling it down and reposting with public settings on.
And then I guess my other question is, I feel like when I'm talking to team members and stuff, a lot of times they don't want to post too much.
Yes.
Like too often, they feel like they're bothering their friends kind of, but I
Yes.
feel like the algorithm's so messed up that they're not even gonna see it. Like,
Yes.
So,
Yes,
and I guess, and after talking to you, if you're posting valuable content, then
exactly.
it doesn't,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that that's a great call out, is that when it's value content as well, it kind of takes that guilt off of you because you're not like, oh my gosh, all I'm doing is selling on social media over and over and posting and, buy this over and over. But if you're taking time to think about, okay, how is this providing value? It does feel like you're doing more of a service to your friends and followers rather than, okay, I'm just asking them to buy a host or join, so it does spin it a little different. And you don't feel as guilty posting as more often. Yeah.
So, pages were like private pages or, or just your customers. Do they still recommend doing those or no?
I like private pages, like, are you talking about closed group? Just make sure. Okay.
But a
Oh, business page. Okay.
Just for Scentsy.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because they used to
that's-
say that and not put it on your
Mhm.
normal page.
Normal, yes. So the whole reason for that was mostly a Facebook thing. Like Facebook wants to keep like personal pages, personal content. And so a lot of times doing promotion posts on personal pages isn't going to get very much leverage out of the algorithm because they can recognize
Yeah.
this is a business post. There's trigger words that let them know anything like buy, shop now,
Yeah.
limited time, get it before it's gone. All of those things trigger. And in a business page, they don't trigger. So it's better to do business page posts on a business page. However, if you're doing it a little differently, like the value content, like, hey, here's 4 ways I save money in my business. I
Instead
ship
of
from
just
home.
posting on business.
It's a little different. I do think it's a lot harder. Personally, there's things I think there's pros and cons to business pages. The pros is that you have all of like the insights and analytics. So you can see a lot more of like, okay, this type of content does really well. Like, and you can actually have numbers to see that like this performed 50% better than this post. I need to do more of this. That's a huge pro. The con to it is that so many people are like big companies, like think of like Coca-Cola, like big companies do ads through Facebook pages. And so their Facebook pages are set up that other business pages get ranked higher based on the ads they're doing, based on their number of likes and their engagement. And so it's a little bit harder to get engagement on business pages than it is a personal page. So it's pros and cons to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. But my tip would be to wherever you show up first. Like if you go to Facebook first, like if that's the social media app, if I said, hey, get on your social media and you pulled up Facebook first, wherever you went to first would probably be where you should first try to like nail it down there. You know what I mean? Like really hone in there and get good there, get consistent there. If it was Instagram or it was Pinterest, do whatever app you love the most, because you'll always go to the one that you like the most.
Right.
And so that's the best place to start.
Does anybody else have any questions before we stop?